Oh, we can transition to this.
Oh.
Oh wow, that was a painful segue. Okay, this is interesting. This case, we still don't know what happened to Tony Evans.
No.
Nope.
Kind of fell off the radar, didn't it?
Well, he's not going to tell anybody what he did, and that's fine. And it's just like, well, don't come back to the pulpit.
Yeah. We assumed the worst.
Assume the worst. I'm going to look it up when you're talking about that. But Robert Morrissey stepped down he's the pastor of Gateway Church. Gateway Church is responsible for, their worship band for Revelation song, Carrie Joby, whatever her name is, Job, whatever. So he back when he was young in ministry in his 20s, I guess he was running around. He was doing all kinds of evangelism and stuff like that. And he was welcomed into the home of this man, his wife, and their family, and they had a 12-year-old daughter. And this is all allegedly so. And, no, he admitted to doing it. So it's not alleged anymore, I don't guess.
Yeah.
Or alleged. But he had inappropriate sexual relations with this girl. Didn't have sex with her, but, everything but. And they found out about it. He admitted to it. He was married at the time. He was out of ministry. Yeah, he was out of ministry for 2 years. I'm my wife. I'd be dead.
Uh-huh.
My wife would have killed me.
Especially, just another woman in general, but a child?
Yeah.
You would deserve to be dead at that point.
Right. And he took 2 years off.
That's what he said.
And then he was...
Which is not true. That's what he said, which is not true.
Really?
That's part of the That's part of the issue. Yeah.
He didn't take any time off?
He took a month off, is what the timeline's showing now.
Oh. Well, he was
And
really
then-
sorry, wasn't he?
Yeah, so at that time, in the 80s, this is mid-80s, I think, is when it was. I mean, we'll probably get it out of this article here.
35 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may have been longer.
But this is not like a one-time thing. With a child over the course of a few years, this was a long-term thing. He lived with this family for a long time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, with a young lady,
Kid.
12 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah. And he says that he took 2 years off of ministry, and then his elders let him back in, blah blah blah. But somebody, I can't remember who I was watching last week when this came out. Oh, it was Brylan. You guys should watch that video in your own time. I don't want to plagiarize his video, but he was using excerpts from Morris's book about that same era of his life, and in his autobiography that he wrote, it lays out how he only took about a month off of ministry and got right back in it. But he's telling the press now that he took.
It in his book?
No, he did not say the reason for the break. In fact, in his book, he claims that the reason for the break in his ministry was that God was asking him to humble himself. And that he took 30 days off and then got back in a different ministry, but was back working in ministry 30 days later. But he's telling the press now that he took 2 years off, and he has a board of elders that are corroborating that.
Does it say how old he was?
He was in his 20s, I believe.
He's a POS. Don't worry, he'll be back. He'll
here's
leave
the thing.
Gateway and go start another church somewhere else. That's all he'll do. 100%.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's accused of this, or he fessed up to it with whichever. You think that's all he did? Let's be honest.
No. Nope.
Like,
Well, that's all
For
he's.
years.
That's all he's at
You
fear
can't
of
judge us. Can't judge us. You
her
don't believe in that.
of her saying now, though. But she's talking, and her father's talking.
That's all
She's
right.
54 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what he?
oh, there it is. Yeah. And
How old's this dude?
he's old.
He's got to be in his 70s, probably. Yeah, mid 60s
so
at
they
least.
Go and so her father found out about it and took it to the elders of the church instead of taking it to the police.
See,
Yes.
Beat
mistake
his
number one.
ass. I'd beat his ass.
Yeah, he would have been drug out the street.
Yeah.
Well,
And
see, and
probably
that's
wouldn't have-
There wouldn't
That-
be no ministry, and there wouldn't be a
No.
court in the land to convict me either.
That's
There wouldn't
part
be no
of
ministry for him.
especially back in the '80s. There's no
Yeah.
way they would have convicted you of that. They would have gave you a medal, a commendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the controversy now is that he had the blessing of these elders apparently, and he claims he had the blessing of the girl's father to return to ministry. And now the girl and her father are coming out saying, "No, we did not do that. In fact, we have vocally opposed his return to ministry for the last 30 years."
Now hold on, devil's advocate here. If they have opposed it for how many years? 30 years.
Yeah.
Why
haven't we heard
is
about it?
Just
Yeah.
now coming to light. Is it? Hey, we don't have any money and we need money.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I'm not saying he's right in anything he did.
Oh, I understand.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying why was this
Why
not
now?
taken care of sooner?
If you're so convicted about it, why now? Just
Yes.
why after 35 years? Why?
Yeah, why wasn't this sooner?
Yeah.
And you're 54 years old, and this happened when you were 12. Come on, man. There's something don't sound right with
It would have
this.
been longer than 35 years. Well, I mean, and the elders knew about it, and the elders don't have a problem with it. And
Yeah, you're. I don't know. Something's fishy here.
I mean, I'm not
Something's
sad
adding
about
up.
it. I mean, Robert Morris, whatever his name is, Robert Morris' tobacco company. Is his name Robert Morris?
It is, I think.
Does he own tobacco?
Morris.
He's 62.
Yeah, it's Robert.
Founded Gateway.
He founded Gateway.
Yep.
No.
And
kidding.
he's a prosperity. He's a multimillionaire.
No, yeah.
Yep. Morris 62 founded Gateway.
In 2000.
I bet you money.
Carrie Job was the worship leader there. You were right.
Wow.
The lady claims that the behavior continued over a 4-year span. So from the time she was 12 to 16. Not only was he married, he also had a child.
What a POS.
Robert Morris's influence extends beyond the spiritual realm into the world of finance, as evidenced by his estimated net worth of $117 million.
Oh. What? What? Wow. Okay, I'm just going to go out on the limb and say it. I think he's got a special spot picked out somewhere for him, and I don't think it's where he thinks he's going to go.
Oh, look at this here. Does it make it harder or easier when I highlight it for you? According to Morris, he confessed and repented in 1987 when he was on staff at a church called Shady Grove. Shady Grove,
Shady.
hold on, Shady
Shady
Grove later becomes part of Gateway. So Gateway knew his past. Shady Grove knew his past and still joined him at Gateway.
Wow.
$117 million.
There have been no other moral failures in his life. Really? It doesn't sound like. I'm gonna have to say no to that. Maybe not.
He's a false teacher. I mean, he's a prosperity. He's like Olstein. Like really no.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh, there's a picture of him with Trump. Good Lord.
Oh no! Why? That figures.
I
At
think
least it wasn't.
I think he makes more than Olstein.
Really?
His church is bigger than Olstein's.
I thought he said 100,000 people.
Yeah, it did. It did. Now, that might not be a single service. It might be multiple services, but yeah.
Oh, it's multiple services.
100,000 people.
I think Olstein's numbers are in the 50s. Yeah.
Yeah, Olstein's worth only 115 million.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was
God's
is that,
cleaning house, baby.
yeah.
Yeah,
God's
he is.
cleaning house.
Yeah, he is.
Amen. 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 Keep doing it, Lord. Keep doing it.
I kind of wish instead of just resigning, he just would have hit him with a lightning bolt. That'd
Yeah.
been a lot cooler.
Burn it all down.
Or like
Burn it
Sodom
all
and
down.
Gomorrah, they just completely destroy the church with fireballs. That'd been cool too.
Robert
Yeah.
Morris, I'm saying it here first. Robert Morris will be back in the pastorate within 3 years.
You think he'll be back?
He'll go start another church somewhere.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And
Although I don't know, he's getting pretty old.
either that or he's going to. He's 62. He's 4 years older than me. What are you saying?
You're old.
Okay.
Okay, if you were 62 years old and you had $117 million And you just got caught with all this stuff. Don't you think you would just kind of fly under the radar for the rest of your life and just
If
live
I
that
was
nice?
62 years old and had $117 million, it doesn't matter if I'm caught with anything. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Exactly. I don't even have to be accused of anything. I'm leaving.
I would say I'm at a beach somewhere, but not me. I'm in a mountain,
That's
snow
true.
mountain somewhere.
Snow.
I'm in
yeah,
Aspen.
there's snow.
I've got a place
There
in
you go.
Aspen.
There you go. Yeah, that would fit you.
But it's just he's the first of many. It's Evans, then Morris, and who's going to be next? Osteen. You know Osteen's got.
Osteen has people. He's like the Clintons. If you got dirt on him, they're probably going to die. Osteen just seems like that kind of guy to me. Like, he'll take you out if you have any dirt on him.
Oh, Brylan got called out by some other guy. I saw that.
Who?
That Brylan got called out by some guy who was saying that everything that Brylan did was just for clicks.
It doesn't
Now
matter.
listen to the shocking
Doesn't matter
details.
whether he does it for clicks or not. He speaks truth into popular topics.
Yeah.
Forthright about the moral failure he had over 35 years ago when he was in his 20s.
I don't want to watch all this.
And
but
prior to mine, Debbie and I met with her and her family, and I asked their forgiveness,
What was
and they
his,
graciously
overall?
forgave me. Whole situation
He's-
from the
he's the
80s.
one-
Knowing Brylan is probably like ours.
what he was saying, he's the one that was pulling up the old excerpts from his book and trying to line up the timelines and prove that he did not.
really?
Yeah. And he did not take the time off that he said he did. Here's the most replayed part. Let's see what it says
Shocking
here.
details of what Cindy Clemishire, Robert Morris's victim, how she recounts what actually happened to her when she was 12 years old. She says, "I'm of course just appalled," Clemishire told Christian Post on Saturday about his description of her as a young lady. She says, "I was 12 years old. I was a little girl, a very innocent little girl, and he was brought into our home, he and his wife Debbie and their little boy, Josh, and trusted and preached at the church that my dad helped start, and then began all of us to do this, which took me decades to wrap my brain around as an adult." So remember, Robert Morris was a married man with a child when all of this took place. She says it went on for many years. He says there was no intercourse, but he did touch every part of my body, and in which I understand now is considered a form of by instrumentation. I was an innocent 12-year-old little girl who knew nothing about this kind of behavior. On that fateful Christmas night in 1982, Clemishire said the safety of the relationship with Morris and his family ended for her when they visited her home. The Morris family came to visit and spent some time there. Cindy sat in the back seat of the car with Robert. He asked her to visit his room that night. She shared a room with her sister. Cindy, an innocent 12-year-old girl, movingly described what she was wearing. She was wearing pink pajamas with bloomer pants. She wore undergarments. She had a snap-up robe on. She thought nothing of visiting a family friend in their bedroom. He told her to lie down on her back and then touched her stomach. He told her to close her eyes. Then he did other things. He warned her, "Never tell anyone about this because it will ruin everything." Clemishire claims Morris repeatedly did things to her in Texas and Oklahoma, and he often told his wife that he was merely counseling her. When she was 16, Clemishire said Morris would take her out in his car and try to have intercourse. By this time, Morris was a pastor at Shady Grove Church, which would eventually become Gateway Church, Grand Prairie campus. So this church is actually Gateway Church. The elder said that, this has nothing to do with Gateway Church. This was before Gateway Church. But no, this church actually became a part of Gateway. So technically, it's the same church. Clemishire eventually confided what was happening to her to a close friend who encouraged her to tell her family. When her father found out, he told the lead pastor at Shady Grove Church that if Morris didn't get out of ministry, he would get the police involved. That threat forced Morris to step away for 2 years. Morris would return to Hominy with his wife and televangelist James Robison. they told Clemishire's father that he wanted to return to ministry. And at that point, her father washed his hands of Morris and no longer interacted with him. Cindy made it clear to CP that Morris did not get her father's blessing to return to ministry. My father never, ever gave his blessing on Robert returning to ministry. My father told him he's lucky he didn't take him out. I am mortified that he is telling the world my dad gave his blessing. Of course, we forgive because we are called to biblically forgive those who sin against us. But that does not mean he is supposed to go on without repercussions.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this forgiveness we're supposed to give people. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Brylan's always good.
Gosh, that just.
Yeah. I mean, I knew the details about it, but when you have somebody to sit there and read it, it's just like.
I'm here to tell you, if that was my girl, he wouldn't have to be worrying about leaving anything right now. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, you could kill him and the police would help you bury him.
Yep.
I mean, it's pathetic.
Oh my gosh.
It's pathetic, and he's not. I mean, we were just talking about, Jr. and I, a guy. How many DUIs got called by the cops?
Right.
Got on a drunken rampage.
Yep.
And got called,
That turned
to the
in-
house for.
Turned into abuse from someone in his household. Yep.
Yeah, still pastoring.
Yeah.
Never even took a day off. Never took a day off. And then, somebody like me can get up there and say, well, today I'm going to talk about why the Bible doesn't allow female pastors. And they say, crucify him,
Yep.
and
100%.
but these guys can just do all this stuff and everybody's just fine with that. As long as they tickle the ears, as long as they tell them what they want to hear, they're totally fine with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are like, well, it was his past and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he should have done the right thing immediately.
Well, and then maybe he thought he did
I can't say what the right thing he should have done immediately was.
But here's the issue, though.
Stream.
According to his bio, he does really well in the finance area.
Can I say
He could have done that.
What'd you say, Mike?
I don't know. These
say, can
guys
I-
are. Well, these guys are so arrogant. They think they're above any biblical teaching. That the rules that would apply normally for you and I don't apply to them. And what they have to share is far more important than their own personal integrity. And so we could be rapists and drunks and pedophiles, but what we're sharing is important. We got to get that message out there. And no, it's about personal integrity. It's about being a man of God, not just being a man of God in the knowledge and the teaching, but being a man of God. And, well, he won't be the last one we talk about.
No, it might be a weekly thing. It seems lately, every couple weeks.
So can I use the language that someone should have Judas themselves?
Oh.
I mean, is that okay?
Well, it probably won't get us flagged for the other word. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. 'Cause
Did you guys see? That's one of the reasons. It probably looked really bad that I was giggling through some of the things he was reading. It wasn't because of what he was reading. It's because of how he does it, how he skips things that he knows he's not allowed to say. But if you look at his face, you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Google's going to influence you.
Yeah.
The Google AI.